to make some caramel corn for you today. Caramel corn is actually pretty easy. I've already popped the 8 cups of popcorn that it calls for. I have a little bit more. I may combine that extra if I find that it's if there's too much caramel for the popcorn there. But the recipe calls for 8 cups of popcorn. So I have that in a roasting pan that I sprayed down. I'm going to combine the 1 cup butter, the 2 cups brown sugar, and a 1/2 cup of corn syrup. So I've got all this in here, and it's on medium heat, and I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then after it's a boil, I am going to boil it for 5 minutes. And then after I boil this for 5 minutes, I'll be ready to add it to the popcorn. So I just want to kind of stir this to help break up the butter. So I have the butter and the sugar all dissolved. I'm just waiting for this to come to a boil. When this does come to a boil, I will then let it boil for 5 minutes. I really don't need to stir it or do any of that. I just want it to boil because it's on medium heat, so it's not going to burn on the bottom. So I'm just waiting for this to boil, and then I will have it boil for 5 minutes. So if you look really closely in here, you see we're starting to get little bubbles. It's not quite boiling, but it is just about to the boiling stage. So I just need to watch it. If you look really carefully right there, you'll notice it's just starting that boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to time it for the 5 minutes of boiling. Now look really carefully there in the center. You will be starting to see bubbles come. So we're going to let this boil, just a nice gentle boil like this, because it's on a medium heat, so we're not going to get a real rapid filling up the thing. We're just getting a gentle boil on it. We're going to let this go for 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, I will come back and show you what we're going to do. All right, so the 5 minutes is almost over. You see it is boiling up a little bit, but it hasn't boiled over because this is just on a medium heat. We've got about a 1/2 minute more to go. When the timer goes off and that 5 minutes is up, I'm going to be taking, got the baking soda and the salt, and I'm going to be dumping it into this and stirring it. And then we're going to pour it over the popcorn and stir the popcorn. So the timer went off, so now I'm going to just dump this in and stir this. And the baking soda usually has a reaction where this kind of becomes a little bit more foamy. Taking this off the heat, you can see how it's becoming more foamy there. And it foams up, and now I'm going to come pour this on the popcorn. So here's my pan of popcorn, and you notice it foamed up a lot more once we got that baking soda in there. And now I'm just going to stir this into the popcorn. And I did butter the pan so that it wouldn't all stick. And I find a lot of times the amount of corn in that they want for popcorn is a lot more sauce. So I stir it in, and then I look, and as you can see, there's still a lot of sauce in there. So I'm just going to go 1 cup at a time, adding more popcorn till it's the consistency that I like it. So depending on just how gooey you want your caramel corn to be, you will decide how much more popcorn you want to add. From the looks of this, I'm going to add a couple of cups right here. And now it's starting to be, to me, about the right amount of caramel to popcorn. I might add a teeny bit more popcorn. I don't want to get the small kernels that go in the bottom of this. Okay, so I will probably stop with that as far as adding popcorn because I don't want to pop anymore. So basically I added, when I use my air popper and I fill it to the fill line, I basically ended up using what the equivalent of one batch of popcorn from the air popper would be. So now what I'm going to do is I want to make sure this is pretty much spread out here. And this is going to go into the oven and it's going to cook for an hour. But during that cooking time, every 15 minutes, I want to open up the oven and I want to stir it. So I need to set the timer for 15 minutes because otherwise I'm not going to notice and it's going to go past the time. So I will put this in the oven and then I will show you what I do every 15 minutes. My timer went off on the popcorn for the first 15 minutes. So I just want to pull it out of the oven or pull it out in the oven and I want to just give it a big stir again because I don't want anything to stick to the bottom. So I'm just giving it one big stir. After I've stirred it, I'm going to go ahead and do this for another 15 minutes and continue till the hour is up. So I will get back to you when my hour is up. This is now finished cooking. And I'm just going to do one last little stir, making sure it's not sticking together. And this actually finished cooking a couple of minutes ago. And I pulled it out, but I didn't have time to stir it. So it is starting to stick a little bit. So I want to break it up while it's still warm, so that when I put it in the bag, it won't stick together. Here you have the caramel corn. That is a lot of people's favorite. So as you saw, it took a little bit of time because I had to cook for an hour. But overall, it's fairly easy and it's really good. So here's the caramel corn, all done. Put in a cute little package, ready to give to a friend. Again, this is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Enjoy.